Good afternoon, friends. Meteorologist Delaney Willis here with an update on some storms that are moving through the area. Right now, we actually have a line of storms that's showers and thunderstorms at this time that are moving throughout the area. That's not seeing any showers, rather rumbles of thunder currently, but I do want to show you right now this cell that was just tornado warned in West Virginia. So this is the beginning of a very potent line with a lot of fuel in the atmosphere as we're watching some of these storms that have the potential to rotate as they move into our area. Both of these severe thunderstorm warnings were tagged with a tornado possible, but they have not yet moved on into our viewing area. So this is why, friends, we are keeping a close eye on these showers and storms that are moving into our region slowly but surely. So this first line was just a band of rain, but the secondary line is going to be more isolated instances of these showers and storms, and some that have the potential to be rotating, as you see that one warning already issued from the National Weather Service in West Virginia. Looking at our satellite imagery right now, we're seeing a lot of cloud cover. Earlier we had a lot of clearing in Southside and Lynchburg zones right here, which added even more instability to an already unstable atmosphere. So we have the fuel there, and we do have a very, very strong weather maker that will move through the area. Timeline for these storms: the first line is already through. Secondary line, of course, we already have the first line, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. That's the lineup that we're watching for parts of the NRV in the Highland zones. Remainder of the New River Valley and the parts of Southside, and as well as the Roanoke zone and Highland zones, noon to 7, and the rest of us, Southside and Lynchburg, 2 to 8 p.m. So those are the windows for seeing severe weather in all of those regions. Now, exactly what threats we are looking out for. Today, of course, wind damage, hail, and localized flooding, all a concern. But as you've already seen, we already have one tornado warning in place in West Virginia, as that's the same system that we're getting in just a couple of hours. So we can't rule out an isolated tornado. So it is very, very important to stay weather aware this afternoon and evening, and be in a place where you can hear warnings when they are issued. Be sure you have those EAS alerts turned on your phone settings so that will alert you even though your phone may be on silent, or have the 10 News Weather Authority app downloaded that will also send you the alerts. So again, those are the threats that we are watching out for this afternoon, and this is the zone for the severe risk. A slight risk is for the entirety of the viewing area, barring some parts of the Highland zone there into Greenbrier and Pocahontas counties in West Virginia. They're included in the marginal risk. But right now, we have a tornado warning in parts of West Virginia that do have a marginal risk. So that shows you that really all threats are in play regardless of this risk zone. Now, of course, we are in that elevated risk, but just to our south in the Carolinas, that is the enhanced risk. So that has not been expanded into our area, but we are going to keep a close eye to see if the SPC does make any changes to these risk zones throughout the day today. Again, another SPC graphic showing the wind risk. Most of our viewing area has that 15% chance of that wind risk, and the rest of us in that 5% chance there in parts of West Virginia. So that is an elevated threat today, 15%. That is pretty high, foreseeing the potential for wind damage this afternoon. Hail risk, more so, is into Southside, Lynchburg, parts of the NRV, and part of Roanoke, but other half of the NRV and in the Highlands, just that 5%. Rest of the area, 15% hail risk. So that's where we're more likely to see some of those big hailers move through. And that's also coinciding with where we had a lot of sunshine and a lot more fuel, a lot more instability in our atmosphere into these zones right here. So it's pretty cloudy in the NRV this morning. But these zones right here already have seen a lot of sunshine and a lot of clearing today, and they're just now starting to cloud over. I also wanted to address the tornado risk today. This was just expanded about an hour ago. A 5% risk for Southside, Lynchburg, and into parts of the NRV. The rest of us in that 2% risk. So no matter where you are today, either in a 2 or a 5% tornado risk. And this is why we are going to keep a very, very close eye on some of these storms that have the potential to rotate as we head into the afternoon hours, especially as we get that daytime heating and later on. And after this first line is clearing through, we may see some more peaks of sunshine, and that would even further bring in more fuel and more instability into our atmosphere. So keeping a close eye on that. Let's time all of it out on Futurecast. And I'm actually going to click out of this so we can just scrub through this manually and get a better idea on what's going on in terms of the timing this afternoon. So showing you Futurecast right now. We are seeing this first line headed out. By about 2 o'clock, heaviest rainfall is into central Virginia, but although that heavier rainfall is already through, that is when we are still seeing about 2 o'clock these pop-up showers and storms right here. And this is even more concerning than the first line, of course, because these are isolated. They have the sky to themselves. They can get a lot more of that fuel. They can take more of that fuel, and they can develop into stronger storms that have the tendency to rotate. So these are the tiny little storms that we are going to have to watch out for this afternoon, and that's beginning about 2 o'clock. That's when we're really seeing those kick into high gear. 3, 4, 5, we're still seeing those tiny little storms move through, but don't be fooled because those are the ones that pack a punch, but they're just in very isolated areas. By about 6, majority of these little storms are into Southside and Lynchburg and starting to move into Charlottesville, Central Virginia area. After that, the bulk of the rain is done. 7, 8 o'clock, may see a few stray showers, but we have worked over our atmosphere a lot by this point, hopefully. Hopefully we will have really seen a lot of the fuel leave because we've stabilized the atmosphere with the previous storms. So that's the story about 7 to 8 o'clock tonight. And after that, we're drying things out pretty significantly. May see a few clouds overnight, a few stray showers. But after that, the story into Saturday, not really a lot besides a few stray showers into portions of the Roanoke Valley and NRV. After that, may see a few pop-ups in the New River Valley, maybe in Southside, but most of us are staying very dry and very clear Saturday. And that is the story Sunday as well. Sunday is just the same story except no rainfall. We're starting to dry out Sunday, which, again, fantastic news. We need to dry out a little bit. We've had a lot of rainfall on the way. So that is the timeline for those storms. Today, our high temperatures are back in we're really warming things up. We're back in the 70s for most of us throughout the day today. And actually, going to go ahead and show you so the 7-day. My computer's not working for some reason. Here we go. 7-day forecast. Today is the alert day that we do have those temperatures back in the mid-70s throughout the area. And, of course, the showers and storms that we are going to stay weather aware for. Tomorrow, we taper it off. Isolated instances of precip. Of course, some areas may stay cloudy throughout the day. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have a dry stretch of days with a lot of sunshine. We are back in the 80s those days, so that will be incredible. We are seeing above average temperatures return, and the next chance of rainfall after this stretch is not until next Thursday.